Good morning, everyone. This is the Fellowship of Spirits Zoom meeting coming to you from Farmington, New Mexico. This is the 7th of November, and we are glad that you're here. And we hope that you will enjoy today's service and that you may get some information out of it, or you just might just consider it an enjoyable time. Anyway, Fred Brown is going to be our speaker, and he is also going to be playing music. I have a spiritual reading for us today, and so that'll probably pretty much do it. Jerry, are there any announcements we need to make at this time?
No, board meeting next Sunday. We did get a request for the Festival of Trees to put in a tree, but it's going to be downtown in the businesses. And so I don't know if we want to do that or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Do we have to decorate it ourselves?
Well, we always have in the
Yeah,
past.
we always have in the past. So it's
See
not
that-
something, not so we hire out.
No. We just have, I usually find something either at a yard sale or at Hobby Lobby to build. We've built some very interesting ones in the past, and we've also just used some very generic, simple ones. So just kind of depends on what kind of effort we want to go to.
Yeah, we're so disorganized this time and living more in the virtual world than we are in the regular world. I don't know that we really need to participate, but if anyone
Well,
has
it is a matter of supporting something local, and it is a matter of, it's a form of advertisement. It gets our name out there in front of people. Is the one good blessing thing about it is that people say, oh, okay, that's a different church.
Yeah, who are you and where are you about?
Exactly. So
Yeah.
that would be a reason for doing it. And, you know, if we decide to do it, I'm sure Rhonda and I can figure out something.
Okay.
So if you want to take a quick vote, that's fine. If
Does
not,
anybody
we
have
can
any
just-
strong feelings about that?
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah,
So Jerry, do you and Rhonda, just getting over COVID, do you feel like taking on a project like that?
That was a month ago. We're fine.
You're fine now?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
I'm
Well, if you
walking
wanna-
2 miles.
if you
I'm
wanna
walking
do
2
it, I
miles a
don't see
day.
it. If there's no
Hey,
objection,
good.
if there's no objection, I think just go ahead and do it if you want to.
Okay, do you want to set a budget amount?
What's normal what does it take to do one? I don't know what we've
$100.
done in the past. I don't.
$100.
That's probably within our discretionary spending amount, so
It is.
I don't have any problem with that.
Well, and we haven't spent any money on advertising so far, so.
Yeah. All right. Does someone want to give us an opening prayer?
no.
Jenny said she would.
I will.
Go ahead, Jenny.
Okay. Oh, Great Spirit, thank you so much for the blessing that these people represent in each other's lives. And thank you for the good we do in the community and the spiritual awareness that we bring. Amen.
Thank you.
Amen. Okay, Fred will get us in the mood with some uplifting music.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
You can.
I'm good. All right. Well, I had a really interesting week, so this kind of song kind of fits right in there. Yeah, I was thinking a lot for some reason this week about, I think, kind of because of what's in the news about the schools and, you know, different subjects going around and about schools and things in schools and kids getting vaccines and all these things. And I had my mind on kids. So I have there's a couple songs here. This is a song I sing for you guys every once in a while. It was by a band named Dishwalla.
Hey, wait a minute, Fred. Fred, hold on. I need to mute everyone, and so you will need to unmute when I get finished.
You can do that.
We have people popping in here.
Okay.
Okay, now you can unmute. And I think a little bit more volume would be good
Yeah.
on
a
your
little
end.
bit
If you
more?
can turn you up a little bit.
Heck yeah. Hang on a second here. Where is that? Oh, there it is. Audio settings. Hello.
That's
That
better.
louder?
That's better. Thank you.
All right.
All
There we
right,
go.
that's great.
A new
Okay,
microphone.
let's welcome Frederick Brown.
Anyway, this is Dishwalla. It's called Counting Blue Cars. It must have been mid-afternoon. I could tell by how far the child's shadow stretched out, and he walked with a purpose in his sneakers down the street and had many questions like children often do. He said, tell me all your thoughts on God. Tell me, am I very far? Yeah. Tell me all your thoughts on God. Tell me, am I very far? It must have been late afternoon. On our way, the sun broke free of the clouds. We count only blue cars, skip the cracks in the street, and he asked many questions like children often do. We said, want me on your thoughts on God. Tell me, am I very far? Tell me all your thoughts on God. 'Cause I'd really like to meet her and ask her why we're who we are. Who we are. I wanna know. I wanna know who we are. It's getting cold. Picked up the pace. How our shoes make odd noises in this place. Our clothes are stained. We pass many cross-eyed people that ask many questions like the children often do. They say, tell me all your thoughts on God. I'd really like to meet her and ask her why we're who we are. Tell me all your thoughts on God. When I'm on my way to see her, and tell me, am I very far? Am I very far now? Am I very far now? Am I very, yeah, very far now? There you go.
Thank you, Fred. I probably should have left your volume where it was, because when you started singing, it was pretty loud. That's okay. You can probably turn it down back to where it was, because when you elevate and sing, your voice is louder. Yeah. Great. It was good, though. Thank you very much.
It'll get turned down.
There you go.
Well, I guess I blew you out on that one. Can you hear? Is it too loud now?
No, you're all right, but your voice is different when you're playing than when you're talking. That's
Ah,
what
yeah.
messed me up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Good. It wasn't too bad, but it was. And
It
if
was
you're
in your
loud,
face.
we have the option of turning you down. But if you're low, we don't have the option of turning you up. Does that make sense?
Then that's a good thing.
But we love your music no matter what. You always have something good, and we appreciate that. Okay, I am going to be reading from the Emmett Fox Around the World, Around the Year. Okay, November 7th, The Secret of Successful Salesmanship. True salesmanship means finding out what your customer really needs and supplying him with it. Or if you cannot furnish it yourself, advising him to go somewhere else. Such a policy will not mean loss of business. On the contrary, working in this way, you may lose one order, or you will get a half a dozen in his place, but you will get a half a dozen in his place. And you will have peace of mind. Any one particular sale does not matter. It is the annual turnover that counts. The policy, the golden rule, was taught by Jesus, the wisest and most practical teacher who ever lived. Salesmen, treat your customers exactly like you would have him to treat you if the positions were reversed. Tell him exactly what you would like to be told about the merchandise if you were the purchaser. And if you will do this, the whole universe will cooperate to make your business career an outstanding success. Teach me to do thy will, for thou art my God. Thy spirit is good. Psalms 143:10. That could probably be pretty much applied to everybody almost in every situation, because we all have things that we're trying to do, and our lives are a lot better. My life is a lot better if I don't have to run from somebody I screwed over in business at the grocery store. That's what I try to live my life, so that I can face everybody and look them in the eye and not have to worry later on. So, all right. Everyone here knows our brother Fred, and we know that he's a good man and that he has a wide range of experience and a pliant mind that really looks at things critically, and then he's able to communicate those things in a clear and concise way. I don't think he's trying to sell anybody on anything when he comes and gives us messages. He's just sharing his experience and his view of the world and his education. So will all of us please put our hands together and welcome Brother Fred Brown.
Thank you all. Thank you all. As always, it's a privilege. I'm not too loud now, am I? No? Good. I tried a new microphone just to see if it would sound better than the one that was in here, and obviously it's got different dynamic properties. Of course, right? So anyway, I guess the title of what I was going to talk about today is called The Nature of Reality, and it was inspired by me listening to, and I haven't been able to find too many written articles by this man, but it was a man named Alan Watts. Is anybody familiar with Alan Watts? Ah, Jenny's familiar with Alan Watts. Well, if you're not familiar with Alan Watts, I would say it would do you a great amount of pleasure to your ears, and to your heart, and to your soul to listen to some of his speeches. They are on YouTube. Like I said, I haven't really dug in to see if he wrote much, but he did give a lot of speeches in the 60s. Some of the ones on YouTube are kind of cobbled together, where they've taken some of his speeches and themed them out. When he spoke, he kind of tended to take a subject and run with it. So he didn't always stick to one point, but a lot of people look to him as one of the progenitors, the forerunners, the foreshadowers of speakers, teachers, mixing Buddhism, philosophy, and modern psychology. So a lot of what he speaks on is going to really resonate with this crowd, and with us, because we seek deeper truth and deeper knowledge in all aspects of belief. And anyway, he has a really good take on explaining connectedness, I guess you could say, and separation from the natural point of view. And what do I mean by nature? What I mean is by that which is natural around us, that which grows, that which we are, that which we came from. Everything that you see in this little blue planet, the water, the sky, the air. I mean, we like to think, when we think of nature, like birds and trees and things like that. But I'd also like to kind of, his take on it takes you a little bit farther. So we can go back to the Big Bang, right? And there used to be two thoughts. Now there's actually three. But there used to be two thoughts. There was the Big Bang theory, and there was the stateful theory. And now there's the stateless theory, but we won't get into that. And the stateless theory, the stateful theory basically said the universe, everything we see, all the galaxies, all the planets, everything have always been just like they are. They just existed. And we have come to a point in our consciousness to be able to see them, measure them, describe them, right? Then there's the Big Bang theory, which says that at a point in time, way in the distant past, matter, us, everything about you, everything that you see in the universe, every cloud, every piece of sand, everything was condensed in one tiny bitty bitty point. And it created so much energy that it went boom and flung universes and galaxies and stars everywhere. Now, over time, I'd say in the last 60 years, Einstein's theory of relativity came to define and help us measure that event. Quantum physics now, which is I guess a step beyond Einstein's theory of relativity, is also pretty much determinative that there was a Big Bang. The stateless theory is there was something even before the Big Bang, right? Which was nothing. But nothing is something, correct? So anyway, so if we think about that, right, that we were flung out, and we now know that by analysis of our very bones, that inside of us we have uranium, plutonium, and pieces of stars that are embedded in our bones. They're embedded in the rocks that you walk on. They're embedded in the trees that you see. They're embedded in the leaves. We are, now we know, made of stars. So think of this Big Bang, you know, blows up and it pushes us out. Well, whatever that is, we are part of that. We're not separate or individual. We aren't experiencing the Big Bang from a point of view looking out, because that's been the whole lie that we've had to fight our whole lives, is thinking that we're separate from nature, that we aren't part of it, but we're somehow outside looking out at it. I am me, you are I. But the truth of the matter is, you are. You are like a wave. We are like a wave on the ocean, coming up at the top and then coming back and saying, hey, like the universe waving back at itself and falling back into itself. We are just a part of this expanse. Just like he explains in his analogy, I guess you could say, is like a fruit tree, right? If an apple tree produces apples, then an apple tree is that which produces apples. So if this planet produces human beings, well, we are part of this planet's experience. Every individual one of us. Kind of like if you think of an ink blot thrown, like think of paint spread out on the ground. In the middle, it's really dense. As you get out to the edges, you see little finer and finer and finer and finer droplets moving slowly, coalescing. Is that droplet way over there any different than what's in the center? No. So we, as human beings, our reality, no matter how you may look at it, no matter what your opinion may be on your reality, no matter the distance, or even if you think that I am separate from my reality, you are not separate from your reality. You are creating your reality. You are the only way you can experience the nature of reality is through the expression of human beings. Where did you first find joy? Where did you first find love? Where did you first find happiness? If it wasn't with your mother, it was with somebody else, whatever, but in their expression of love became your definition of love. So we do never, ever, ever can exist separated, even though we think we are. And you see that a lot nowadays, especially in our society. It seems like our culture and our politics have become very broke, very divisive, very angry, very accusatory. Nobody wants to take responsibility for the perceived insults or management or mismanagement of everybody else. It's everybody else's fault, and everything's going to be better as soon as we get rid of those people. Right? And to me, it's like a resounding giant bell that goes bang in my head every time I hear that stuff. Because you are not separate from the other side. There is not a Democrat and a Republican. There's not a Chinese person and an American person. We are all one. We are all one. Now, we may look a little different because we're all individual expressions. We're little droplets out on the expression of this great big universe. And it's easy to look over there and say, hey, that's another droplet over there. It's not right behind me. Maybe that droplet's not me. No, that droplet's you. And this form of division, I think, is a call to all of us in this space to walk out every day and remember there is no division. There is no us. There is no them. When you hear the arguments, it's hard. It's hard sometimes not to want to. I fail at it a lot, to my chagrin, to be honest. But it is our duty to bring healing, understanding, peace, not to sow division, not to continue the narrative, the language narrative, right? Because all it is, it's separating us is language, not our DNA, not our wants, not our desires. I'm sorry. It just breaks my heart some days. It's not what I fought for. It's not. It's not what this country was founded on. Our country was founded on inclusion, not on dissolution. And these calls for a revolution and all this other, it's just noise of division, trying to set us against each other. Now, some people say that's evil. I think it's actually part of our nature to compete. But it's also part of our nature to share. And I think we all, in this space, need to contribute that every time you have the chance. Don't fight. Don't argue. Stand up for what's right. Because there's days I really worry for all of you and our children and our grandchildren. And this is a place of unity. And I love you guys. And that is the nature of our reality. We are connected. We are not separate. We are one. And if we as individuals stand that light up every time you can, it will make a difference. I mean, sometimes it seems that it doesn't, but it will make a difference because people do notice. And they notice that you care about them, you know, that you say, hey, you're still my friend. I don't care what you say, you know, or what your political, or who you voted for, or who you didn't vote for, what bumper stickers on your, you know, on your car. You're my friend and I love you. If we all start there, maybe we can have a chance to change to express the nature of this universe of sharing, cooperation, love, and understanding. And so that's, I had to go through an emotional week today. Going through a lot of stuff. It was 7 years ago I had a heart attack in this building. And I survived it. And I'm so grateful. And I'm so grateful to share with you guys. So listen to Alan Watts if you can. And remember that we are all one. And I really hope we could get back in this building. Because it's really empty. And it takes bravery. We define our reality, right? We're not separate, we're one. And I love you guys. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, that's an awful lot to have, Fred, to come and share your love with us. And that's what you've done. You've come and shared your heart. And that's all that we ever ask for anyone. You know, for me, the reason that I am a member of Fellowship of Spirit is because of that, of us refusing to recognize differences. Okay. We are colorblind. We are, you know, we don't care about people's skin color. We don't care about their bank account. We don't care about their politics. We don't. If you want to come and share with us a view of being not oppressors or the oppressed, we don't really support either thing. We support each other as pieces of God and pieces of love that are live within each and every one of us. And that's why I'm a member of Fellowship of Spirit, is because of the nature of spirit and spiritual reality, which can get distorted, you know, because you have 7 billion people on the planet. Everybody has a different view, a different opinion of what that is. But I think when we come together and agree on a way of being, then we have a fellowship. You know, if you have dogma and you have rules and regulations, then you could have a religion and a church. And I don't want to have that either. I want to have, you know, our natural, loving relationship that is that we come together because of the strongest thing that happens in human beings, and that's desire to be close to one another, to share in one another, and to love each other. But it's that desire that brings us together. And we need to always provide a place for that to happen. And that's what Fellowship of Spirit is, a place so that we can all come together. And so we want to get back into churches in our building as soon as we possibly can. We have to realize that our building is not our fellowship. Our fellowship is the relationship with each other, heart to heart. the building is a place where that can happen. We have found out over the last couple of years, Zoom is a place to where we can gather and share that also. Is it as good as being together? No, it is not. I would be the first one to say that. It is safer though. And we want to get back in there, and hopefully as this thing really looks like it's gotten worse and worse, maybe it's spiked and maybe it's about ready to go downhill. As soon as it does, we want to be back where we can hug each other and see each other and be close to one another physically as we are spiritually. So that's, I just want to add a little addendum there because I think that Fred's talk was good and timely, and it was very important. Thank you very much. I'm going to open it up now. Anyone wants to unmute and say something to Fred or to add to our discussion?
Thank you, Fred, for sharing your emotion with us and your experiences. And I hope that you have a better next week. I hope that this week doesn't define your life. So, but thank you for sharing with us, and I'm with you. I know that building feels really empty without us. So I'm praying that Mon County will back off just a little bit so we can get back in there. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
Yeah,
Just-
thanks, Fred, so much. I listened to a lot of Ellen Watts before the COVID thing started, and it came to really define a lot of the exploration in my thinking. And then COVID happens, and it just seems like that has narrowed a lot of my viewpoints. And as COVID has progressed and turned into what it is now, I have really kind of hardened myself. And I'm holding all of the so-called anti-vaxxers responsible for this continuing on as it is, when actually my concept of whatever an anti-vaxxer is, including my daughter, she's one, and everything else is probably it's the attitude that's holding us back. And you're right, we are all one, whether we're on one side of the fence or the other, we can still reach through the fence and touch each other and try to understand each other. And that is indeed our lessons to learn on this plane. And so I'm going to go back and revisit Alan Watts. I really appreciate you pointing out his teachings. And I'm going to work on changing my attitude. I've been through a kind of a tumultuous sickness in the last week or so, and I'm still recuperating from it. And it was initiated by me getting my booster shot. It just threw me right in bed.
Yeah, that's happened to
But,
some people.
I'm coming out from it, and I'm humbled and grateful to be humbled. And thank you for sharing your emotion and your caring.
You're welcome, Steve. It just come out. Wasn't planned. I don't have very good control of things like that when I'm on a stage, or, you know, that's kind of how my music works. I just let it go. And if I can get out of the way, then maybe something can happen, right? Maybe I can channel something beyond me, maybe. But I totally agree with you. It's I think for me, I've found that it's the pressure of the pandemic, the pressure of the politics, the pressure of the economics has put a lot of kind of like maybe put our consciousness in a boiling pot, and it will bring out the other nature, what some people call, the automatic, which is the things that we were just naturally going to do as a human being. But there's also the I guess you'd say the pragmatic, or what has been taught to us. This, what some people say, it's the ceramic or the hard things that have been taught to us. And in our society, we've been taught a lot of issues of classism and racism and elitism and meritocracy and all these other things. And then you boil everything down where it's like, okay, if I go to work, I got to risk my life. If I go to church, I'm risking my life. It will put a lot of pressure on your consciousness to find a deeper peace, I think, or get a little deeper. Because it just makes me angry a lot, to be honest. I've had to deal with a lot of anger.
Yeah, I'm in the same position. I think my daughter-in-law is keeping me from my grandkids. And I sent out an email about, well, let's start planning the holidays. And nope, she doesn't. Nope. And she's an anti-vaxxer, and the kids have never been vaccinated, I think, for anything, which makes me pretty nervous. But okay, it's not my decision. But yeah, I just feel like I need a way to speak to her that I can reach her and be able to see my grandkids again. It's like, really, what's important? I think love is important. I don't think politics is important. So yeah.
Yeah,
I
and it's
understand totally.
frustrating. It's very
Yeah, it's been
frustrating.
a hard week.
But
I
it's
think a
gonna
lot of
change.
this, I think a lot of this has been politicized.
Oh yeah.
The issue that we have right now with COVID, it's a public health problem. It's not a
Yes.
political problem. It's not a
Yeah.
culture war problem. It's a public health problem. The only way out of this is to vaccinate our way out of it,
Mhm.
like we've done with polio, like we've done with smallpox, which was eliminated from the planet back in 1980 because we vaccinated everybody. That's what works. We know it works. Let's just do what works. Let's don't get angry at each other. Let's don't make it political or cultural.
Mhm.
Let's just do what we know what works, the sensible thing, and then everything will start to go back to normal. And we could stop with this being isolated from one another and
Mhm.
and starting to go a little freaky because of it. I mean, isolation is not good for human beings. We're social creatures.
Yeah.
That's our nature. So let's do what we need to do so we can go back to being social creatures again.
I feel
That's
really blessed.
that's my 2 cents worth.
Okay. I feel really blessed to still be able to go and teach on campus, because that's like, it's a big thing and a small thing at the same time. It's the tip of the iceberg, but at least I have social contact.
Yeah, it's been the same for me, at least getting out and playing a few concerts, even though it's been really risky. But I've been able to work through the pandemic pretty much. I mean, there was one year when it was shut down, obviously, but this last year, but every time you're like, whoo, I'll get off of that stage and I go for the door, man. I go outside and stay outside. Wait till I hear somebody strumming a guitar, then I go back inside and get on the drum. Okay, let's play. Now I'm gone.
Well, it's kind of scary because I have a small-ish class, a quarter of my students have had it, and nobody says that they got it on campus. But, we have a Thursday class, and then on Saturday, I find out that somebody's got COVID. It's like, so like other people have been exposed, I'm thinking. So yeah, make it stop.
I know. And it's gonna, and we know this is gonna stop. It's just, what I hope as coming out of this is that we all appreciate each other a little bit more, and maybe the thing to do is not be angry and just be understanding. And that's very, very hard to do in this situation. It's hard for me. I know. I mean, I got people that like to push my buttons too. And that's what I'm trying to do nowadays. That's been my whole thing this week is realizing how many buttons I still have that are able to be pushed.
Yeah.
So I'm going to work on getting rid of those buttons.
Desensitize them.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
What I hope comes out of this is appreciation for science.
Yes. Amen.
Science is the study of how the world really does work. So if we appreciate science and appreciate the scientists, then that would be a better path than going down some of the rabbit holes people go down. And it gives us the information we need to make rational decisions.
Amen. It's just not easy nowadays.
No.
Not easy.
Okay. Yeah, back before this church started, I knew Randy and Susan when they first moved down here. And not too long after that, they used to have guest speakers, and they invite people here. And we had a lady who came from Russia with her entourage. She was a big healer in Russia, and she came here by invitation of Randy and Susan, and they were busy setting up stuff. And so they asked me to entertain these people because they arrived here right when the Russia fell. Okay. Matter of fact, when they went to the airport, they took all their money away because they said, no, you can leave, but you're not taking any money with you. And so they arrived here with nothing. And the lady that was the main leader, she had an interpreter. She spoke no American, no English. And one of the things that she shared with me, I asked him, how are things in Russia? She says, well, years and years ago when the communists took over, they abolished religion. However, they had no control over our spirit. And as a people, they became more spiritual rather than religious, because religion being denied to them to be able to practice it openly, they became more spiritual. They became more open, and they became more aware of one another. And, I think that we have studied many times that, that this is a planet of duality, and that in order for us to appreciate the day, we have to have the night for some reason, and I think that possibly this is in a long series of the lifetime of our species and race, that we have ups and downs, and that we have been denied things, and then we get them back, and then we have appreciation for them, and hopefully that's where we're at. We have sickness and we have health, over time. And I think Jim is right. Science is one of the things that helps us to conquer these very real illnesses that happen, and they don't just go away just because we ask them to. We have to make efforts, and we have a branch of our society, the scientists, who that's their job. That's what they work on. And so I have faith. One of the things that takes place is that we have to have faith, otherwise the world becomes overwhelming if without our faith. And so our faith is that at some point that this unpleasantness will end, and that we will be able to have joy and have a less fearful existence, because that's what causes our anger, what causes our separation, what causes our judgment, and all that other stuff is fear. And so if we can have a less fearful existence, we'll have a happier existence. And that's my faith, and my belief that time is coming. When will it get here? I don't know, but it will come, and we'll have a period of that, and then something else will happen, and we will be shown a darkness again, and we'll to overcome. Up and down is kind of the way that I've noticed that things happen on this planet, and we're in a sort of a down period, and it's been that way longer than we would like. But hopefully soon the light will shine again, and we will be happy, and we will be able to do all of the things that we want to do, which is to be together. So, Fred, sing us a song and get us out of here.
Well, well, may God bless but may God bless and keep you always. May your wishes all come true. May you always do for others and let others do for you. May you build a ladder to the stars and climb on every rung. May you stay forever young. Forever young. Forever young. May you stay forever young. May you grow up to be righteous. May you grow up to be true. May you always know the truth and see the light surrounding you. May you always be courageous. Stand up straight and be strong. May you stay forever young. Forever young. Forever young. May you stay forever young. May your hands always be busy. May your feet always be swift. May you have a strong foundation when the winds of change and shift. May your heart always be joyful. May your song always be sung, and may you stay forever young. Forever young. Forever young. May you stay forever young.
Thank you, Fred.
Love that song.
There we go. Yeah.
That was a class song when Jesse graduated. They're on the verge of 40 now, so I wonder how they feel. The definition of young.
Yeah. For me, young is being young of mind, being pliant, being looking forward and always being in wonder and thinking, well, our better days are yet to come. Yeah. But anyway, thank you, Fred. That was a great song. We appreciate it. We appreciated the talk. You know, we're still having Course in Miracles on Wednesday nights at 6 o'clock. Susan Barnes Smith is a facilitator for that effort. And on Thursday night, we have at 6:30, Margaret Cheesebro is running the Power of Eight. I was unable to be there this week because I was out of town. But Margaret, tell us, would you like to share with us what's going on with the Power of Eight?
Yeah, we had, I think we had five or six people there yesterday, Thursday. And it was a very good time. There were about 20 people on our list. And I know that my sister was really, really helped by the Power of Eight. She's back in her own home now after going through some really, really tough times. And I'm just very, very grateful for everyone who participates, because I think you find out that when you pray for someone else, something in your life is blessed as well. Because like Fred said, we're all one, we're all connected. And when we reach out to help someone else, it comes back to us. It's just the way it is. So when you participate in Power of Eight, you're helping others, but you're also helping yourself.
Absolutely. Thank you, Margaret. At 8:45 on Sunday morning, we have a book study class that we're currently studying this book, Destiny of Souls. Which one is it? Like that? Is that good? Because on my screen, it doesn't look right. Okay. Destiny of Souls by Michael Newton II in a series of a lot of those things. And he talks about all of these thousands and thousands of people who through regression has reported to him about what happens to lives between lives, and this an inside look into the spiritual world. So it's really good. It's really informative. We enjoy it, and we would like to welcome you to come and share with us anytime that you would like. There are ways that if you don't have a book, we can direct you to getting free books or show you how to do it. It's better if you have a book, but we have some that on a PDF form that we can get to you, and if you don't want to buy one. So, but anyway, so we don't want that to be a barrier to people coming and sharing with us in our book study. Next week, we will have a board meeting. After the meeting, we will be talking a lot about, our immediate future with our church, and about how our fellowship, and ways that we can get back into the building. We just take a look at this week by week and see what the count is, what the danger is, and that's how we've been determining it. We rely a lot on Jim Jones, who works for the health department, and he has updated information that he knows where to get that the average person doesn't know, and Jim is our big advisor. Jim,
Yeah.
you're just unmuted. Do you have something you want to say?
No, I was just, I guess Jenny has a question. Or?
Are there testing places? Because it seems like that has gone down while vaccination has gone up.
Yeah, there's still testing places. I would advise going on the New Mexico Department of Health website. They'll direct you where your local testing places are.
Okay.
And if you want to get the vaccine or the booster, you can go on. What?
I'm triple vaxxed now. Man,
Oh,
I'm
good
just
for you.
bulletproof,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I applaud you, Jenny.
Well,
I'm getting my booster next week. So
all right, good. Well,
So-
Mom was a nurse first before she was a writer. And so,
she inculcated
I
you
got
in
it
that.
from the beginning.
Very good. Very good.
Thank
So anyway, there's information on the New Mexico Department of Health website that will,
Okay.
it'll answer your questions about COVID, the vaccines, et cetera, et cetera. So for those that don't know and haven't been to that website, I highly recommend it. Just a correction, I don't work for the health department. I work for the environment department.
Environment.
It's similar, but it still involves public health, but it's not quite the same thing.
And science.
Yes, it's science.
Mhm.
I'm a big science guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
And he knows a whole lot more than the rest of us about that, the epidemiology and viruses and their eradication. So thank you, Jim. We appreciate it. We appreciate you.
well, you're welcome. I'm just trying to gently push everybody in the right direction.
Mhm.
We now have an easily preventable disease. It wasn't before. That's what really made it scary.
Mhm.
But now we know how to prevent it, and all we need to do is just take the steps to do so.
Mhm.
And
I
then
do
we can
tell my
start.
students that. Come on. It's
I-
right
I-
here on campus. Go get your shot. No big
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly.
Okay,
I have an
So-
announcement.
you have an announcement. Go ahead, Jenny.
Caliente's next, actually first fall in-person concert is coming up on the 16th. And we are actually able to perform in Henderson. And we don't usually get that opportunity, but we can distance better because it's a bigger facility. So it is 7 p.m. on Tuesday, November 16th, and it's $10 admission. The theme is struggle, and it's the subheadings, whatever: we fall, we break, we fail, but then we rise, we heal, we overcome. And the music is just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you, Jenny. Everybody go to see the Caliente to sing. Gonna be not as good since our brother Rick Greenacre is not gonna be in it, but you know, he went on to his reward. He's on the other side singing with angels, so that's a good thing. All right, is there anything else that anyone would like to bring before this body today?
I'm still looking for somebody who is interested in taking on the Compassionate Children. You don't really have to do anything, but there's an occasional letter that comes in that needs to be responded to, answered. They write us a letter, it's transcribed by somebody, and then we are suggested that we send an answer back to them about what we are, what we're doing, you know. Anyway, I'm looking for somebody who's willing to do that. If you'd be interested, please call me.
Anybody would like to be responsible for communicating from fellowship to our people, our children that we sponsor in foreign countries? Okay. Father, Mother God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this opportunity to come together. We thank you for the wisdom that was shared with us today, the reminder that we are all one in your loving embrace and your loving heart. We ask that you would look after us and comfort us in our times of struggle, that you would remind us gently that things will get better, and that to have faith and be patient when it is so hard to be patient, when we are in pain and we're feeling the pangs of separation. We ask that you would comfort us and touch our hearts and our minds to know that the truth is that we are all in love together in your heart. Until we meet again, we ask that these things be done. Mitakriyasa. Okay. That's it. I'm going to unmute us and quit the recording.